This is the last story that I wrote. It is also the longest that I've written. It is called The Circle, the Life Cycle of an Idea. Shut the hell up, the man yelled as he woke up with a start. It was the third day straight that the construction noise woke him up. The man was working swing shift at the manufacturing plant in town. I was not able to get to sleep until 1 o'clock in the morning. The bastards next door would start working on their house around 7 o'clock, waking the man shortly thereafter. He was getting tired of being tired, yawning at work, eyes watering from lack of sleep, snapping at his fellow workmates. Something had to be done to eliminate the noise, but what? The man's head was swimming as he sat up in bed. He nearly passed out. He swung his feet round and planted them on the floor, bowing his head to ease the dizziness. This relieved the sense of fainting a little. He rested. Jonathan Edwards was an average-looking man of 5 feet 6 inches and weighing nearly 190 pounds. At the age of 48, his light brown hair was thinning. He would be nearly bald in a short few years from now. He had a clean face that would not support a beard. He tried a couple of times just to have splotches of hair that didn't resemble a beard. It was not noticeable on the busy sidewalks of the city. He blended in with everybody else, average, no more, no less. Without doing his morning routine, shaving, brushing teeth, showering, he got dressed to go next door. Jonathan realized that he needed to calm down. Going postal wasn't going to solve his problem. He splashed cool water on his face. This seemed to help. Taking some deep breaths helped as well. He walked out his front door with an air of confidence and went next door with a smile on his face. Being pleasant should help my situation, he thought. Explaining my situation would also be beneficial. The brothers would see through my eyes and have sympathy. Good morning, he said to one of the brothers. He was a large, husky man with a full beard. He was intimidating. Hi, the neighbor said. Jonathan continued. Is it possible that you guys could start working on your house at 8:30 instead of 7? I work swing shift and need to get more sleep. I would be grateful if you could do this for me. He felt good about what he said and how he said it. The brother would understand. He was an adult. Instead, he, he shocked Jonathan. He laughed. This poor baby needs more sleep, he chided, talking to his two brothers. They all laughed. Jonathan turned around and slumped away as he walked back to his house, defeated, embarrassed, beaten down, countenance fallen. He heard loud laughter chasing him home. Jonathan's childhood memories came rushing to the front of his mind like an ocean wave coming to shore. Jonathan was a clumsy, awkward, chubby boy who was teased a lot during his elementary years. The bigger, older kids would push him around, knowing he wouldn't do anything to stop them. They were right. He was a coward at heart. Jonathan Edwards thought he had outgrown this torment, although he was still awkward. He never he never developed the social skills that one was expected to achieve. This was probably why he never married, but lived with his mother until she died 2 years earlier. Being around people caused anxiety, so he tried to stay away as much as possible. This experience with the brothers brought back that feeling of anxiousness. Some time passed in this state of mind. Jonathan awoke from his misery and decided to begin his morning routine. Let it go, he thought to himself. They're just assholes, and that's all they'll ever be. Just let it go. As he stood in the shower, water raining down his not so muscular naked body, he began brainstorming ideas on how to eliminate the problem with the brothers. Ideas flew around inside his head like flies circling a decaying, rotting body. Some fell flat dead, while others gave birth to larger ideas, dreams within dreams. Soon Jonathan was fantasizing, awake yet asleep. Are you going to allow those bullies to screw you? A voice in the man's head asked. One of the flies laid an egg batch in the decomposing flesh. You can't allow those bastards get away with teasing you. They embarrassed you. They need to pay for that, the voice said. But how do I do that? Jonathan asked aloud. The voice responded, I have a plan. It shared the plan with him. Jonathan called the plant and told those in charge that he received an urgent call asking him to visit his aunt who lived in another city. He wouldn't be back to work until next week. He had things to accomplish and couldn't be bothered with going to work. He was very tired and decided to take a nap. Jonathan Edwards needed to be refreshed for what he had planned. No reason to go half-cocked and get caught in the act before his tasks were completed. The man slept, and as he slept, he had a dream. It was convoluted and dark. There were flies, thousands of flies, some circling, others landing on the stinking, decomposing flesh of a small animal that had been run over again and again. The buzzing sound of those flies made Jonathan feel he would soon go crazy if it didn't stop. He woke up. He could still hear the buzzing, smell the rancidness, see the indescribable dead body. Jonathan ran to the bathroom and puked into the toilet. That felt better. He rinsed his mouth of the foul taste. Jonathan became hungry after vomiting, so he made some breakfast. Scrambled eggs mixed with pieces of ham, 2 slices of toast, and a small glass of cool orange juice. He then sat in his favorite chair, waiting for one of the brothers to leave while drinking a cup of hot coffee. He didn't care which one he followed, one down, two to go. Jonathan's heart was pumping. He was excited to try the plan. Would it work? The construction stopped and he headed for the door, knowing it would not be long before one of the brothers left and got into his pickup. Jonathan started the engine and waited, heart pounding. The brother who first laughed at him, the large one, got into his pickup and drove out of the driveway. Jonathan followed, but at a distance. He didn't want the neighbor to suspect anything. A few minutes passed. of going up and down the side roads when the neighbor pulled to the curve and stopped. He opened the door. Change of plans. Jonathan had accelerated, aiming for the door and hopefully his enemy. He didn't know if he intended to kill his neighbor or just scare the hell out of him. He had never deliberately hurt anyone before. The acceleration of his pickup gave him the feeling of freedom. The man was free. The sound of metal clashing with flesh and bone was arousing. Contact! He knew that he got the neighbor and got him good. Freedom! The bastard wouldn't humiliate him anymore. Jonathan Edwards kept on driving, hoping that nobody witnessed the attack. It was so quick that he was sure that even if somebody had seen the attack, he wouldn't have the wherewithal to write down the license plate number. Jonathan noticed to himself that he would need to take it off next time he used his pickup as a murder weapon. The flesh and blood of the asshole needed to be cleaned from off the front of the pickup, so the man went to the nearest automatic car wash and went through. He drove back past the scene slowly to see what he had done. He needed proof that his enemy was dead. The police and ambulance were just arriving at the scene, but Jonathan got a good look. The big man was sitting on the ground with his legs in a strange contortion, bone protruding from the back of the knee like a dog. Blood was everywhere. The neighbor was definitely dead. Another egg batch was laid in the flesh. The man went home, exhausted. He sat in his chair, pulled out a cigarette, and lit it. He relaxed as he needed to catch his breath. I did it. I really did it. I took control of my life for the first time, he said aloud, and it felt good. Peace. Hold it there, buddy. What? Wasn't that a little too easy? It was the voice in Jonathan's head. It continued. I thought we had a plan. That son of a bitch didn't suffer for what he did to you. How he treated you. Yes, but he's dead, the man said. I felt I needed to act while there was time. I don't know if I could have taken in the courage if I would have waited, he said. The voice asked, where's the joy of a quick kill? Sure, there is pleasure, but pleasure is fleeting. Joy lasts for a long time. It was right. Jonathan felt good that he put his neighbor out of his misery, but there was little joy in the action. I thought that a quick kill would give me satisfaction, but you are right. There is little satisfaction when the act is done too fast, he said. Let's do the next kill more slowly so we can enjoy the moment a little longer, the voice said. A kill is a kill, so don't fret about this one. All is forgiven. Jonathan Edwards found a friend at that moment, someone who he could talk with. The new friend added quickly, but we can't take long to move on to the next kill. The other brothers may be leaving the site soon, and we have business to take care of, the man responded. But I am so tired. You can sleep tonight like a baby, I promise. Let's move, the voice said. Jonathan made a ham and cheese sandwich and drank it down with a tall glass of cold milk. That satisfied him. He was ready for the next step. As he looked out his window, he noticed only one of the brothers was working. It looked like he was cleaning up in a hurry. Jonathan Edwards had to make his move, and now. He had to get the neighbor into his house, but how? He decided to play it by ear. He walked over. "How's it going?" Jonathan asked, not really interested in the response. "I'm in a hurry, so please don't bother me," the neighbor said. "Don't bother me," Jonathan thought to himself. What the hell was that supposed to mean? He had, he had to get hold of himself, or he would lose it. "What's wrong?" he asked, knowing the answer already. Hell, he was the one. Hell, he was what was wrong. Jonathan Edwards killed his brother. The neighbor answered, "We just got a call from that my brother John was killed in a hit and run." Bill went to the morgue to identify the body, while I stayed to clean this damn mess. "So please don't bother me," Jonathan thought fast, then said, "You can wash up over at my place before you go." Brilliant. "You don't want to see your family members looking like that," he added. "Thank you," the brother said. "I'm sorry that I barked at you." Nice try, Jonathan thought, but too late. "You're next, asshole." What he actually said was, "It's okay. Come on over when you're ready." He then turned and walked back to his house, a smile on his face and a bounce in his walk. Freedom. That was awesome. It was Jonathan's friend inside his head. "Hey, friend," he said. "I have missed you. Where have you been?" The voice responded. "I think I must have fallen asleep, but I'm back now," it added. That was brilliant. Yes, I thought so too. The man laid in wait for his neighbor, watching through the front room window to make sure he didn't take off. He lit another cigarette and opened a bottle of Miller. The eggs hatched, and the maggots began feasting on the vomiting flesh. The neighbor came as promised. Jonathan invited him into the house. My home, he thought. I allowed the bastard to pollute my home with his presence. It was for a just cause, he reminded himself. He showed his guest the bathroom. While the neighbor was washing up, Jonathan fetched a heavy-duty flashlight and waited patiently for him to come out. Crack! "Pay dirt!" The neighbor was out. Jonathan muscled the body down the stairs into the basement and tied him to a chair, hands behind his back, feet to the chair legs. He knew that once the brother woke up, he would yell, but the basement would muffle the noise. The neighbor's mouth was not gagged, as the man wanted to hear him scream in pain and humiliation. "Hey, friend, you there?" Jonathan asked. "What?" "I think I may need some support," he said. "Running this guy's brother down out of spontaneity is one thing, torturing is another." The friend was kind and patient with the man. It said, "Part of the battle is remembering how this piece of crap and his brothers treated you. They need to be paid back. As long as you focus on that, you'll be fine." Jonathan followed up. "Will you stay with me so I won't feel alone?" Yes, that's what friends are for, the voice said. Thank you. While the brother was out, Jonathan went next door and brought the pickup over. He parked it in the two-car garage with his pickup, shut the door. No evidence of foul play on his part. He opened another bottle of Miller. When the man came back down into the basement, he decided his neighbor had slept long enough. The afternoon was waning, and there were things to do. Jonathan Edwards really needed to pee, but didn't want to waste his time in going to the bathroom. He took his thing out and proceeded to pee on the brother's face and body. That woke him up, the hot piss. What the hell? The brother shouted. Why are you doing this to me? Jonathan responded. Remember how you humiliated me this morning? Don't worry, I have just begun to pay you back. I'm going to enjoy this. He put his thing back and began slapping the neighbor in the face. Are you a wimp? Asked the voice. Use your fist. Make this man feel your pain. Jonathan closed his fist and began to work on the brother. Thick globs of blood came shooting out of his mouth. Maybe a tooth as well. Power. The brother began crying. I'm sorry that I humiliated you. Please stop and let me go. Tears were rolling down his cheeks. I don't think that will happen, Jonathan answered back in a loud voice. You will die, but before you do, you will feel the pain that I have been through because of you and your asshole brothers. I'll let you stew over those thoughts. Why get something to eat? I'm hungry. Jonathan slugged the neighbor square in the nose, breaking it, and went upstairs. He was hungry and a little exhausted. I'm proud of you, Jonathan's friend said. You took control and handed that bastard the beating he deserved. Let him rest a while, and then we'll go back down. This time we'll finish him and put him out of our misery. Jonathan responded happily. I did feel good. It felt I had power over that little man. It was awesome. Yes, said the voice. I could feel your confidence grow as you swung your fists, making contact with his face. I especially liked that last blow to his nose. It will never be the same. Jonathan made a light dinner of mac and cheese. He needed something in his stomach, as beating his enemy took a lot out of him. And no use in beating a man to death on an empty stomach. He sat in his chair, lights out so nobody would know he was home, while he ate his dinner. He rested. He lit another cigarette and opened another bottle of Miller. The maggots began to pupate in the hard brown shells in the rancid flesh. At 7:30, Jonathan Edwards went back down to the basement to check on his captive. He felt energized after eating his dinner and taking a short nap. The brother was asleep in the chair, dried blood around his nose and mouth. His eyes were swollen, nearly shut. He smelled like urine. The little man wet himself. Disgusting. Jonathan swung his fist across the man's face. That woke him up. You little bastard, you pissed yourself, he yelled in his face. Now I'm gonna have to clean up after you. He swung again. Power, control, manhood. Please don't hurt me anymore, the brother pleaded. Let me go. I promise I won't call authorities. I'll tell them that I'll tell them that I fell down the stairs while I was working on the house. Jonathan responded. It won't take much longer, and then you'll be dead. You won't feel any more pain once you're dead, but you will experience pain that you can't even imagine before that time comes. He smiled at the brother. Jonathan took a pair of pliers, held the brother's right index finger, with his left hand tight clamped onto the fingernail and pulled slowly. The screams were piercing, but Jonathan held on. Slowly the nail came out. The screaming continued. Jonathan Edwards wasn't about to let off. He was getting his pay off for his humiliation. He took the neighbor's index finger with his right hand and began bending it backward, slowly, ever so slowly. The snap of the breaking bone, the bone protruding through the skin, the blood spilling freely from the flesh wound, the screams of pain. Jonathan began to laugh hysterically as he lit another cigarette. Our work is done, said the voice. Now I must leave you. But, said Jonathan in a sad voice, I thought we were friends. Why do you have to go? The voice responded without sympathy. You did my bidding. I have no more use of you. With that, Jonathan no longer felt the friend's presence. Please don't leave me. I need you, he cried, face wet with tears. With anger, he put his cigarette out in the middle of the brother's forehead. Jonathan then collapsed dead next to his neighbor, who would soon die from the shock of his system. As Jonathan Edwards lay on the floor, a fly slowly crawled out of his ear, followed by another and another and another. Soon there were thousands of flies circling his decaying, rotting, rancid head.